I was sitting at my parents' Thanksgiving table, staring at the empty chair beside me where my wife Amanda should have been. For 8 years of marriage, I thought my family had accepted her. But a phone call from my mother 2 weeks earlier changed everything. It felt like someone had pulled the rug out from under my feet. Her words still echoed in my mind. "We just do not have room for her this Christmas, sweetie." I never imagined that paying my parents' property taxes would become the most powerful weapon I had. Before I tell you how my own parents tried to erase my wife from our family, let me know where you're watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe, because what happened next changed everything about how I see family loyalty. Trust me, you will want to hear how the county tax office became my unexpected ally. Amanda and I had been married for 8 years. We met at an accounting firm in Portland, Oregon, where I worked as a financial accountant, and she had come in for tax preparation before switching careers to become an elementary school teacher. Our life together was stable, predictable, and filled with the kind of quiet happiness that does not make headlines but builds a foundation. We had a modest home in a good neighborhood, 2 rescue dogs, and what I believed was a solid relationship with my parents, Richard and Patricia. 3 years ago, when my parents retired, they hit a financial bump. Oregon property taxes are not cheap. Their annual bill came to around $7,000, and on their fixed retirement income it was a strain. I still remember the day my dad called, his voice tight with stress, explaining that they might need to downsize. I could not let that happen. The house I grew up in, the place where I learned to ride a bike in the driveway and spent countless summer evenings on the back porch, it meant everything to them. So I made an offer I would cover their property taxes. It seemed like the right thing to do, a way to give back to the people who raised me. My mother cried with relief. My father shook my hand with a firm grip that said more than words could. Amanda supported the decision completely. "They are your parents," she said. "Family takes care of family." I thought that statement went both ways. Growing up, I was close with my mother. Patricia was the kind of mom who attended every school play, remembered every friend's name, and always had a batch of cookies cooling on the counter. My father, Richard, was more reserved, the strong, silent type who showed love through actions rather than words. He taught me how to change a tire balance, a checkbook, and treat people with respect. Or so I thought. When I first introduced Amanda to my parents, I expected them to love her as much as I did. She was kind, intelligent, hard-working, and had a laugh that could light up a room. But the reception was lukewarm at best. My mother smiled politely and asked the expected questions, but there was something missing. The warmth she showed to my siblings' partners was not extended to Amanda. My father shook her hand and nodded, then spent most of the dinner talking about the stock market with my brother-in-law. Amanda came from a different background than my family. Her parents divorced when she was 12. Her mother worked 2 jobs to keep them afloat, and Amanda put herself through college with scholarships and student loans. There were no country club memberships or summer homes in her history. She was real grounded and unimpressed by the material things my parents seemed to value. I remember my mother's comment after that first meeting. "She seems nice, but is she really the one for you?" I brushed it off. I told myself my mother was just being overprotective, that she would warm up once she got to know Amanda better. I was wrong. The first few years of our marriage, we showed up to every family gathering. Christmas dinners, Thanksgiving meals, birthday parties, summer barbecues. Amanda always brought a dish, always offered to help clean up, always tried to engage my parents in conversation. But looking back now, I can see what I was too blind to notice then. My mother had a way of forgetting to ask about Amanda's day. My father barely made eye contact with her. When we announced we were buying our first house, my parents congratulated me but did not acknowledge Amanda's contribution to the down payment. 2 weeks before this past Christmas, everything came to a head. My mother called me at work, her voice bright and cheerful as always. We chatted about the weather, my job, the dogs. Then she said, "About Christmas dinner, honey." My stomach dropped before she even continued. There was something in her tone, a careful preparation that signaled bad news. "Claire is bringing Brian and the kids this year," she continued. "Claire is my younger sister, married with 2 children under 5. And Diana is bringing her new boyfriend. Diana is my older sister, perpetually dating, but never settling down. The thing is, Evan, the dining table only seats 10 people, and with everyone coming, we just do not have room for Amanda this year." I sat in my car in the parking lot, phone pressed to my ear, certain I had misheard. "Mom, you cannot be serious." "It is just one Christmas, sweetie," she said as if she was asking me to skip dessert rather than exclude my wife from a family holiday. "Amanda will understand. She can spend time with her own family." My hands tightened on the steering wheel. "Mom, Amanda's parents moved to Arizona 2 years ago. She does not have anyone here in Portland. And more importantly, she is my wife. We have been married for 8 years. There was a pause. Then my mother sighed a sound heavy with exasperation, as if I was being unreasonable. "Do not make this difficult, Evan. It is just easier this way. Claire's kids need space to run around, and you know how cramped it gets." "Then add another chair," I said, my voice rising despite my efforts to stay calm. "Push the table against the wall. We have done it before." "I have already planned the seating arrangement," Patricia said, her tone turning cold. "Please, do not push this. It is one day. You can come and tell Amanda we will see her another time." The conversation ended badly. I said something about needing to think about it. She said she hoped I would be reasonable. We hung up and I sat in that parking lot for 20 minutes staring at nothing, trying to process what had just happened. When I got home, Amanda knew immediately something was wrong. I told her everything, watching her face carefully. She tried to hide her hurt, tried to rationalize it. Maybe they really do not have enough space. She offered her voice small, but that night I heard her crying in the bathroom. She thought I could not hear over the running water, but I did. Every sob felt like a knife to my chest. I called my mother the next day, determined to find a solution. "Can we not just add another chair? We have squeezed more people around that table before." Patricia's voice was firm. "I have already planned everything, Evan. The seating chart is done. Please do not make this harder than it needs to be." "Mom, this is my wife we are talking about, my partner, the woman I chose to spend my life with. And we respect that," she said, though her tone suggested otherwise. "But this is our home and our Christmas. We have the right to decide who we invite." That statement hit me like a physical blow. "So you are uninviting Amanda?" "I am making a practical decision about space," she corrected. "Do not twist this into something it is not." But it was exactly what it seemed. I told her I needed time to think, and we ended the call. My mind was racing. This was not just about one Christmas. This was about 8 years of subtle slights I had ignored, of comments I had dismissed, of a growing realization that my parents had never truly accepted my wife. I called my sister Claire that evening. She picked up on the third ring, her kid screaming in the background. "Hey, Evan, what is up? Did you know Mom uninvited Amanda from Christmas?" There was a pause. The background noise faded as she clearly stepped into another room. "I found out yesterday. I thought it was weird, but I did not know how to bring it up." "Weird," I repeated. "Claire, it is more than weird. It is cruel." She sighed. "Look, I agree it is not great. But Mom said something about the table only fitting 10 people." "The table fits 12, I said flatly. "We have had 12 people at Thanksgiving before." Another pause. "Evan, I think there is more to it than just space." "What do you mean?" Claire lowered her voice. "Mom has been making comments about Amanda for years. Little things. How she dresses, her job, her family background. I thought it was just Mom being Mom, you know. But after she told me about the Christmas thing, I realized it has been building." My jaw clenched. "What kind of comments?" "Like last year, she said it was too bad Amanda did not pursue a more prestigious career. And a couple years ago, she asked if you were sure Amanda was managing money well, because teachers do not make much." Stuff like that. I remembered those conversations now. I had been there for some of them, but I had dismissed them as my mother's typical snobbery, not directed malice toward Amanda specifically. I was wrong. That night, I decided to call my father. Richard answered on the second ring. "Evan, what can I do for you, son?" "Dad, we need to talk about Christmas." "Your mother is handling the arrangements," he said quickly, trying to deflect. "Dad, this is wrong and you know it. Amanda is my wife. She's been part of this family for 8 years. He sighed. "Look, your mother has her reasons. Amanda is a nice girl, but she's never really connected with us. You know, she's just different from what we expected for you." "Different? How?" I pressed. "She's from a different background, different values. Your mother and I always hoped you would marry someone more on our level." The words hung in the air like poison gas. On their level. As if Amanda was beneath us somehow, because her parents were not wealthy, because she chose to be a teacher instead of a lawyer or doctor, because she was real instead of pretentious. "Dad, I cannot believe you just said that." "I am being honest with you," he said. "We have been polite. We have been welcoming. But this is our home and our Christmas. We can decide who we want there. And you are deciding my wife is not good enough. We are deciding we want a smaller, more comfortable gathering," he said carefully. "You are always welcome, Evan, with or without Amanda." I hung up without saying goodbye. My hands were shaking. I sat down with Amanda that night and we talked for hours. She admitted what I had been too blind to see. "I always felt like I was walking on eggshells around your parents," she said quietly. We were sitting on the couch, her hand in mine. "I thought if I just tried harder, was more helpful, more pleasant, they would eventually accept me. But it never happened." "Tell me," I said. "Tell me everything I missed." She took a breath. 3 years ago, your dad's 60th birthday. Your mom called everyone to invite them. She called Diana Claire, even your cousins. But she did not call me. When I asked you about it, you called her, and she said she thought I was working that day. But I had told her my schedule 2 weeks before. I closed my eyes. I remembered that. I had believed my mother's excuse. "And Christmas gifts," Amanda continued. "Every year your mom gives Diana and Claire jewelry or expensive scarves. Last year she gave me a bath towel set from the discount store. The tags were still on it, $12. I had not noticed. I had been so focused on my own gifts, on playing with my nieces and nephews, that I had not paid attention to the disparity. "There are 100 other little things," Amanda said. "The way your mom forgets my name sometimes and calls me dear instead. The way your dad talks over me at dinner. The way they never ask about my students or my work unless you prompt them. I have felt invisible in your family for years, Evan, but I did not want to come between you and them, so I stayed quiet." Guilt washed over me. "I am so sorry. I should have seen this. I should have protected you." She squeezed my hand. "You could not have known if I did not tell you. But now we both know. The question is, what do we do about it?" I thought about that question all night. I thought about the money I'd been paying for 3 years. $21,000 in property taxes. Money I gave freely because I loved my parents and wanted to help them. But love is supposed to go both ways. Family is supposed to protect each other, and my parents had failed that test when it came to Amanda. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I called my mother one more time. My voice was steady, calm, final. "Mom, I need you to understand something. Amanda is my wife. If she is not welcome at Christmas, then I am not coming either." "Fine, Evan." Her voice was clipped, annoyed. "Have it your way. But do not expect us to change our minds just because you're throwing a tantrum." "I'm not throwing a tantrum, Mom. I am setting a boundary. And there is one more thing. I will not be paying the property taxes this year." There was a beat of silence. Then she laughed a sharp, disbelieving sound. "What? Do not be ridiculous. I am completely serious. I have been paying $7,000 a year for 3 years. That was my choice, my gift to you and Dad. But family is a two-way street. If you cannot treat my wife with basic respect, if you cannot even include her in a holiday dinner, then I am done providing financial support." "You cannot do that." Her voice rose in pitch. "We are counting on you. We budgeted for you to pay it." "Then you budgeted poorly," I said. "You should have thought about this before you excluded Amanda." "Your father will hear about this." "Good. Tell him. Tell him I'm done being taken advantage of. Tell him I'm done watching my wife be treated like she does not matter." I hung up before she could respond. My heart was pounding, adrenaline flooding my system. Amanda stood in the doorway, her eyes wide. "Did you just do what I think you did?" "Yeah," I said. "I did." She crossed the room and wrapped her arms around me. We stood there for a long moment, holding each other, both of us knowing that nothing would be the same after this. An hour later, my father called. His voice was hard-controlled, anger barely leashed. "How dare you threaten us like this?" "I am not threatening you, Dad. I'm just stopping a voluntary payment. You are adults. You own your house outright. You have retirement savings. You can pay your own property taxes." "We need that money, Evan. Do you want us to lose the house? Is that what this is about?" "This is about you and Mom treating Amanda like she is not part of this family. It is about you excluding her from Christmas because she does not meet your standards. And you know what? The county does not care about family drama. They just want their money. So I suggest you figure out how to pay it. You promised to help us, and you promised to treat my wife with respect. Looks like we both broke our promises." He hung up on me. I sat down, my legs suddenly weak. Amanda brought me a glass of water. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I will be," I said. "We will be." Over the next few days, the rest of my family weighed in. Claire sent a long text message saying Mom was freaking out and maybe I should reconsider. Diana called, her voice exasperated. "This is extreme, do not you think? It is just one Christmas." I responded to both of them the same way. If it is just one Christmas, why did they single out Amanda? Why is she the only one not invited? Neither of them had a good answer. Christmas came and went. Amanda and I stayed home. We cooked a small dinner, watched movies, and tried to make the best of it. But there was a sadness hanging over everything. No calls from my parents, no texts, nothing. In the afternoon, Claire sent me a photo of the family gathered around the table. Everyone was there smiling. I zoomed in on the photo. The table could easily fit 12 people. There was plenty of room. My mother had lied about the space. This was never about logistics. It was about control. It was about making it clear that Amanda would never be fully accepted. I showed Amanda the photo. She looked at it for a long time, then handed my phone back. "They made their choice," she said quietly. Yeah, I agreed. They did. Early January brought a new development. My phone rang while I was at work. My mother's number flashed on the screen. I let it go to voicemail. She called again, and again. Finally, I answered. "Evan." Her voice was panicked, high-pitched. "We got a notice from the county. The property taxes are overdue." "I know, Mom." "What do you mean you know? You need to pay it right now." "The penalties are adding up." "No, I do not need to pay it." "That is your responsibility. It always has been. I was just helping out of the goodness of my heart. But that ended when you made it clear Amanda does not matter to you. But we do not have $7,000 just sitting around. They are adding interest, 1.5% per month. Do you know how much that adds up to? Then I suggest you pay it soon. The longer you wait, the more expensive it gets." She started crying. "How can you do this to us? We are your parents. And Amanda is my wife. You made your choice at Christmas. Now I have made mine. This is blackmail. No, Mom, this is consequence. I'm not asking you to love Amanda. I'm just asking you to include her, to treat her like she exists, like she matters. You could not even do that for one dinner." She hung up on me. I sat at my desk, staring at my computer screen, not seeing anything. My coworker asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, but I was not sure if that was true. 2 weeks later, my father called. His voice was different this time. Tired, defeated. "The county sent another notice. They are threatening to put a lien on the property." "I am sorry to hear that, Dad. Can we not work something out? What do you want from us?" "I want you to apologize to Amanda. I want you to treat her like family, not like an inconvenience or a charity case. I want you to acknowledge that for 8 years you have made her feel unwelcome in our family." There was a long silence. "We will think about it," he finally said. "You have until the end of the month before the lien becomes official. After that, you will owe even more money. And Dad. The county does not care about your feelings. They do not care that you hurt my wife. They just want their taxes paid. Kinda like how I do not care about your excuses anymore. I just want my wife respected." He did not respond. The call ended. Late January, my mother called again. This time her voice was different. Quiet, humble. "Evan, can we talk? Please. I am listening. Can we meet your father, and I would like to speak with you and Amanda, in person." I discussed it with Amanda. She was hesitant. "I do not need them to love me," she said, "but I need them to respect that I am your choice." "Let us hear what they have to say," I suggested. "If it is more excuses, we walk away and never look back." We agreed to meet at a neutral location, a coffee shop halfway between our house and theirs. When we walked in, my parents were already there sitting at a corner table. My mother looked smaller, somehow older. My father's shoulders were hunched. We sat down. Nobody spoke for a moment. Finally, my father cleared his throat. We were wrong. I waited. My mother's eyes were red. Evan, I am sorry. Amanda, I am so sorry. I let my own prejudices and expectations get in the way of seeing what was really important. You are Evan's wife. You have been part of this family for 8 years, and I refuse to accept that because you were not what I envisioned for my son. Amanda sat very still, her hands folded in her lap. Patricia continued, tears now streaming down her face. I wanted Evan to marry someone from our social circle, someone with money and connections, someone who would enhance our family's status. And when he chose you, someone real and genuine and good, I could not see past my own shallow values. I have been cruel, I have been cold, and I drove a wedge between my son and myself because of my own insecurity. Richard spoke next. I went along with it. I told myself I was just supporting my wife, but the truth is, I was just as guilty. We excluded you, Amanda. We made you feel unwelcome, and we hurt our son in the process. We were wrong. Completely, utterly wrong. Amanda's eyes were wet, but her voice was steady. I just wanted to be part of the family. I never asked for anything except basic kindness. I have spent 8 years trying to win your approval, and it hurt when I realized I never would. You have it now, Patricia said quickly. If you will give us another chance, we will do better. We will be better. I looked at Amanda. She looked at me. We had discussed this possibility, planned for it. We need to see action, not just words, I said. This cannot be a temporary fix to get me to pay your taxes again. We are paying the taxes ourselves, Richard said. We borrowed from our retirement fund. We will manage. This is not about the money anymore. This is about our family. My mother reached across the table, her hand hovering near Amanda's. Can you forgive us? Amanda looked at that outstretched hand for a long moment. Then she took it. I can try, she said, but trust has to be rebuilt, and that takes time. We understand, Patricia said, squeezing Amanda's hand. We will take all the time you need. The conversation continued for another hour. We talked about specific incidents, about patterns of behavior, about what needed to change. My parents listened. They asked questions. They took responsibility. It was not perfect, but it was a start. Over the following months, things slowly improved. My mother started inviting Amanda for coffee, just the two of them. My father made an effort to ask about her students, to show genuine interest in her work. It was awkward at first, forced even, but gradually it became more natural. I never resumed paying their property taxes. That chapter was closed. They managed their own finances, downsized some expenses, and figured it out. And honestly, I think that was healthier for everyone. The power dynamic had shifted. I was no longer the dutiful son providing for his parents. I was an adult with my own family, my own priorities. Christmas the following year, Amanda and I received an invitation. Not a phone call with conditions. A proper invitation in the mail addressed to both of us. We discussed whether to go. In the end, we decided to give it a chance. The dinner was different. My mother had clearly put thought into including Amanda. She asked her to help with the cooking. She made sure Amanda's favorite dishes were on the table. My father pulled out Amanda's chair and asked about her classroom's holiday program. It was not perfect. There were still awkward moments, but there was effort. Real, genuine effort. As we drove home that night, Amanda was quiet. "What are you thinking?" I asked. "I am thinking that sometimes people can change," she said. "Not always, but sometimes, and it is okay to give them the chance to prove it." I reached over and took her hand. "I am proud of you for being strong enough to set boundaries and gracious enough to allow forgiveness." She smiled. "I learned from the best." Looking back now, I understand that the property tax situation was never really about money. It was about value. About what we are willing to accept in the name of family and what we are willing to stand up against. For years, I enabled my parents' treatment of Amanda because I did not want to rock the boat. I told myself it was not that bad, that they meant well, that Amanda was overreacting. But she was not overreacting. She was being slowly erased from my family, and I was letting it happen. The decision to stop paying those taxes was not revenge. It was boundary setting. It was saying that my marriage, my partner, my chosen family matters more than my obligation to my parents. And the beautiful irony is that the county tax office, a faceless bureaucratic entity, forced my parents to confront what their son's pleas could not. They had to choose between their pride and their home. In the end, they chose to swallow their pride. I learned that you cannot buy respect with money. You cannot purchase acceptance. What you can do is set clear boundaries and stick to them even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. Amanda taught me something else too. She taught me that forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pretending the hurt never happened. It means acknowledging the pain, seeing genuine efforts to change, and choosing to move forward without the weight of bitterness. Family is not just about blood. It is about respect. It is about showing up. It is about treating the people you claim to love with dignity and kindness. My parents forgot that for a while. The county tax lien reminded them, and, in a strange way, a $7,000 tax bill taught everyone involved more about family values than any holiday dinner ever could. So, if you're watching this and wondering if you should stand up for your partner against your family, let me tell you this. Yes, do it. Set the boundaries. Protect the person who chose to build a life with you, because at the end of the day, the family you choose matters just as much as the family you were born into. Sometimes more. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away until people learn to treat you and yours with the respect you deserve. The county does not care about family drama. They just want their payment. And honestly, that clarity, that brutal honesty was exactly what my family needed. Have you ever had to choose between your partner and your family? How did you handle it? Drop a comment below and let me know your story. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories about standing up for what matters. Share this with someone who needs to hear that it is okay to set boundaries, even with the people who raised you. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it gives you the courage to protect your own chosen family. Take care of yourself and the people who truly see your worth.